Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Samp P500 breaks record, UK inflation jumps to 1%, FOMC minutes, OPEC meeting in focus analysis. http ntvforex.com news ID AD05DB 8/19/2026 26:14 am. The Samp P500 0.23% finally closed above its February, an all-time high. This was the fastest rebound from a bear market after the pandemic-induced sell-off erased more than 20% of its value in the first quarter of the year. NBSP Nasdaq closed 0.73% higher. NBSP stay on top of the markets with Swissquota's news amp analysis. NBSP in corporate news, Walmart's second quarter results crushed analyst estimates as the online sales were nearly doubled due to the pandemic boost in e-commerce. But last month's comparable sales growth failed to keep up with the good 2Q results on the back of waning government support and the delay in the agreement for the next round of fiscal aid. NBSP happily, soothing news came from the political front, as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Democrats may scale back on their stimulus plans to find a common ground with Republicans to pass the much-needed fiscal rescue package and review the deal for additional items after the November election. Pelosi's constructive comments pleased investors, who have been showing no signs of stress regarding Joe Biden's lead over Donald Trump for the upcoming election. NBSP news on U.S.-China front was less encouraging. Chinese equities edged lower as Donald Trump ordered U.S. colleges to divest from Chinese stocks. Escalating U.S.-China tensions remain on the back of investors ahead, without however having a crucial impact on the overall market sentiment for now. Meanwhile, trade tensions arise between China and Australia, as Beijing ordered an anti-dumping probe against Australian wine imports. The AUD remained bid, as stocks in Sydney 0.75% eked out gains despite tensions. But, China is Australia's biggest trading partner by far, and deteriorating relations could heavily weigh on the Australian economy already ravaged by the pandemic. NBSP elsewhere, Nikkei added 0.20% despite a surprise 7.6% slump in June machinery orders versus a 2% rebound expected by analysts. But July exports contracted less than expected, even though the strong yen continues being a barrier to the recovery in Japanese goods foreign demand. NBSP activity on FTSE 0.31% and DAX futures 0.21% hint at a flat to positive open on Wednesday following an eventless Tuesday trading session. NBSP The weak US dollar and softer US yields remain the major drivers in the FX markets. Due today, the FOMC meeting minutes could pave the way for an update of the Fed's forward guidance policy in September, where the monetary policy could be linked to a flexible average inflation target, as worries that the unprecedented monetary and fiscal stimulus could have an overshooting effect on inflation and destabilize the market. The latter flexibility should give some breathing space to U.S. policymakers if the consumer prices got out of control due to excessive, but necessary policy measures to keep the economy running. NBSP The Eurist advanced to January 1965 on the back of a broadly sold US dollar, and the pair is preparing to test the critical 1.20 offers as a result of an overstretched and persistent debasement in the greenback. We do not rule out the possibility of an advance above the 1.20 mark, but the current levels do no longer support the relative fundamental valuation. The slightest reversal in US dollar appetite could trigger heavy headwinds in the Eurist and leave the Euro bulls on the back foot. NBSP released this morning, the British inflation data showed that the consumer prices unexpectedly rose 0.4% MOM in July, versus 0.1% expected by analysts, pushing the annual inflation to 1.0% from 0.6% printed a month earlier. The faster inflation paired the dovish Bank of England bow expectations and encouraged a further rise in bust above 1.3260. The combination of soft USD dollar and firmer inflation should continue giving support to sterling's bullish trend against the US dollar, though most of the CAB's actual strength is due to the dollar weakness, and there is a growing risk of a rapid unwind as the market is increasingly swamped with short USD positions. NBSP in commodities, Gold failed to consolidate gains above $2,000 per ounce and steadied a touch below this level in Asia. Even though the actual risk rally caps the short-term appetite in the yellow metal, the cheapening US dollar, soft US yields and mounting inflationary worries remain supportive of a strong gold demand in term. Yet, investors are sure whether the historical high prices are a good entry point for hedging their risk positions. Price retreats, however, should attract dip buyers. Next support is eyed at $1,940, minor 23.6% retracement on March-August rally. NBSP WTI crude remains steady a touch below the $43 per barrel. Yesterday US API data printed another 4.264 million barrel decrease in US oil inventories last week. The more official EIA data should confirm a fourth straight week decline in US stockpiles. Investors will focus on OPEC-JMMC meetings today. OPEC and its allies decided to trim their production cuts on improved demand prospects in July and are not expected to step back from their latest decision at this month's meeting. The group will likely send a message of compliance and discipline to the market. Market optimism and risk appetite keep the price of a barrel above the 200-day moving average $42.50 for now, but the reluctance to carry the rally forward sends signs of fatigue and hints at an imminent downside correction in the oil space. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.